What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Real Ones Canes podcast. He is Cam Underwood, managing editor at StateOfTheU. It is arguably the best website that covers the University of Miami Hurricanes. It is free and it's open 24/7, 365. You can follow Cam on the Twitter sphere at Underwood Sports. I'm Brian the Beast London. You can follow me at Miami Radio Beast. And did you just wave like hi, mom, or something like that?
I said hi, Brian.
Hey, Cam. I'm glad we're smiling now because we're about to not smile as we get into the postpartum a little bit more on the University of Miami's loss.
Postpartum?
Postpartum. The after report, the after action report.
Postmortem?
Postmortem. Oh, postpartum. Yeah, we did deliver a baby.
I was gonna say I didn't know that we had the physical ability to be there, but okay.
Yeah. No. We delivered a baby. It was ugly. It was an ugly game against the University of Louisville. So let's dig into that. While it's still unfortunately fresh in our minds, we did have our one of our highest watched shows on YouTube was our post game show that we did on Sunday. Saturday. Saturday. So there's that. A ton of comments, like over hundreds of comments. But mostly people taking shots at you, but that's okay.
All right. I'm here for it. I can be the punching bag, if I got to be bad guy and everything. But thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Be sure that you do that in this episode as well.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get into this. So I think the biggest thing to get into about this game is if we're going to get into the Carson Beck 4 interceptions and what he said after the game and what he didn't say after the game. And then what he said, we're recording this day evening, what he said earlier today in a conference call with the media to clean up what he didn't say on Friday night. So we'll get into all that. But I think what we need to do is give credit to Jeff Brohm and his staff, because they did everything on both sides of the football to take the University of Miami's strengths away. And that's exactly how you're supposed to draw it up, right? They took away Miami's run game on offense, and they made Carson Beck try to beat them. And Carson Beck's eyes got a little bit bigger than his arm. And on the other side, they basically took away Miami's amazing pass rush. And those two things combined equaled a Miami loss. Now, there was a lot of other nuances to that, but that's how I see it, is they had a great plan and they executed it.
They did have a great plan. They did execute it, and they have two players specifically who are as good of athlete as we have at Miami.
Yep.
And actually, in some ways, better in Isaac Brown and Chris Bell. And basically said, these are the guys who are going to beat you. And when you have Isaac Brown one-on-one in many situations, and he's track fast, he's one of the fastest players in America, and he forces missed tackles because he has wiggle along with that top speed, boom. And then, like I said in the postgame, Jeff Brohm and company said, O.J. Frederick cannot run with Chris Bell. I tweeted it during the game. It was very apparent. Hey, we're not even going to run him deep. We're just going to run him on crossers because the field is still 53.5 yards wide. And that's enough space from 0 to run away from 29. And they did. It was a good plan. Corey Heatherman on Monday said, on the first or on one of the touchdowns that Chris Bell had on a shallow mesh crosser, linebacker needs to hit his line marks and get to 4.5 yards of depth. What does that tell me? They're trying to go under with the defensive back. So you need to give room. It's just like playing basketball, bro. If you're trying to get under or get through on a screen, the guy who's guarding the screener needs to step back to give you room to get under there. But he didn't. They bumped shoulders. O.J. Frederick gets, a step and a half further behind because he ran into whoever the linebacker was. There it is. I'll give credit to Louisville. They played well, one of their best games of the year. And they did, get the ball out of Miller Moss's hands quickly.
An average of like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Now, the couple of times when he had to extend plays because the initial quick pass wasn't open, then you saw he's not built for prime time. But that didn't happen enough to really inhibit the Louisville offense. And honestly, Jeff Brohm he ate Corey Heatherman's lunch on the first two drives. I mean, first two drives of the game, touchdown. Miami's down 14-0. Yo, what? We did recover.
But the 14-point deficit does impact a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh, no, totally. Absolutely it does. Even with all of the credit that I've given to Louisville. And again, they played well. They earned the victory. They made the plays to be played. All of those things. My perpetual view is in the mirror at the University of Miami. Because if we did what needed to be done, that was still a game to be won. I didn't even know that I was going to rhyme that. But Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions we'll go through each of them. But on all of them, a better throw or a check down
was available.
Right? Or a better throw of the version that was intercepted. Well, really on the post route. A better throw there, Malachi Tony still running, hits his head on the goalposts, right? Because he was open. Correct. It was a great play by the linebacker or safety on the backside. That ball hung like a hot air balloon. He doesn't got, just like you said in the lead-in, his eyes got bigger than his arm. He doesn't have that arm to throw that ball, and we saw the limitation there. And on the other ones, there are screenshots of tight ends or receivers or running back, multiple dudes wide open, right? And those things and those choices and those throws, respectfully, have nothing to do with the University of Louisville.
That's
because correct. If Shannon Dawson is truthful in saying Carson Beck is the best quarterback he's ever had at taking the checkdowns, then why in the hell did he not take them there? Because, again, even with what they're doing defensively, if Carson makes the better, more prudent choice and checks the ball to somebody else, we're talking about a different thing. You have the ball of the 31 going in with a chance to go win the game, to which Mario Cristobal said, we were not playing for a field goal. It's a full goal. You're trying to go win the game, which is why we threw it on that last play with the miscommunication that we're going to talk about that led into the interception, right? Again, every available option, excuse my phone, I'm so sorry, was there on every single play that was an interception to have a different result. So again, giving credit to Louisville and what they did and how they did it and everything. If Miami performed better, there was a play, we wrote about it on the website because everybody's talking about on StateOfTheU.com, talking about the run game and only running duo, which clearly, is the bread and butter of our run game. And Jahmyr Gibbs for my Detroit Lions hit for 78 yards on Monday night. Ran duo with Jordan Lyle, and he gets excited and happy feet, and he predetermined, well, I'm going to try to go here when there was the Red Sea parted to his left. That's not a Louisville issue. That's a Jordan Lyle pressing the wrong hole and missing the home run. So, again, I'll give them all the credit for what they did. It has always been my view, interior focused on Miami. If we did what we needed to do many times available in that game, the result could have been different. So yeah, we lost. It's on us. Period.
I will give you all of that. Let's focus on that last interception because it became a story this week that it got blown out of proportion. So sure. I have 2 video clips I want to show to us for us to see it again. So it's fresh, and for the audience to see the full context of what Carson Beck said, both after the game when he was asked by Jordan McPherson from the Miami Herald first, and then there was another writer that followed up on it. And then today, Wednesday afternoon, by Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel, followed up on it to clean it up. So I'm going to play 2 video clips. The first one is from after the game, the one that everyone was talking about. He threw Lofton under the bus. Let's watch this clip and see what he actually said.
Interception. interception. You guys are in field range. Just the balance of being aggressive, trying to go for the win, but also knowing where you guys are. What's that balance like there?
Yeah, I don't know. We called the play and they blitzed off the edge, and I'm hot, and I think there was a miscue or miscommunication of the play and the routes that were supposed to be run, and then the guy was able to undercut it because we weren't in the right place. But it is what it is. Obviously, it's a tricky situation when you're in field goal range already, but we had a good play called. It just there was a miscommunication there, and it's part of it.
Carson, on that last play, that last interception, were you not expecting that defender to be there? They're running that kind of sim pressure, they're popping out at the snap.
We have a perfect play for it. We had a miscommunication with the route and what we were doing. So, just sort of ran the route wrong, and I went to go throw it because we're hot off of the pressure. And again, he made a good play on it. So, but it definitely didn't help that we ran the wrong play.
So that's the clip from after the game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to now play the clip from today's media session where he was asked again about it, again by Adam Lichtenstein from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. So here's that.
Some like national, pundits on Twitter talking about, your answer about the last interception. Some people were saying that you threw Elijah under the bus. Now, I think anyone who watched the whole clip would have known that's not what you were doing, but, when you can edit things to make them look a certain way. Did you talk to Elijah just to make sure that he knew what you were talking about, that you weren't trying to talk bad about him or anything like that, just to kind of make sure things are, copacetic and everything?
Yeah, I was never throwing him under the bus. And when asked the question, I was asked, what happened on the last play. And I think if you go watch the whole clip of what happened, you can go look at what I said. But again, an interception is on me. And again, I'm ultimately the guy with the ball in his hands at the end, right? So I have to take accountability for that. But again, when I think people can take things out of context sometimes, and that's not at all what I was doing. I've never been that type of person. I've never been that type of way, and I've always taken accountability for my mistakes. Again, I didn't play my best. I honestly had a terrible game, and that's a huge part of why we lost. And I have to live with that. I have to take that. But again, it's going to be how I respond and what I'm able to do in the weeks moving forward. But we're not worried about that. We're worried about Stanford right now. So again, everything's good on our end and internally. So just moving on forward as a team and seeing what we can do to continue to execute on Saturdays.
All right. So those are the two clips. I think the only thing that's like, hey, you threw someone under the bus, that to me was in the first clip when he said we ran the wrong route. But again,
but that was the third time that he answered it, and he said, "Look, we had a miscommunication." And it's in the heat of the moment. They pulled him from the locker room as one of only 4 players that we spoke, because you cannot be the quarterback of the University of Miami trying to make it into the NFL and not talk to the media after a game. And it was a career high 4 interceptions, the worst game he's played. Buddy, you got to go face the music. The only thing that people want was for basically him to fall on the sword harder of, I played terribly. I made a bad throw. There was a miscommunication on the last play, which he said, but people basically want the extension of, and any miscommunication on offense is my fault because I'm the quarterback. I called the play. I, me. And so there was a disconnect on the route, and but people just really want to be mad, and again, we played both clips. Go back and rewatch them. Yes, he mentioned there was a miscommunication, and obviously when you have that, then the routes aren't where they are supposed to be, or and then the third time, so we ran a wrong route, which is born of the miscommunication that he said. But if he would have centered himself more in that initial response, which was, if you have a brain, he's taking responsibility while also painting the picture.
Yeah, he was asked a question and he answered the question truthfully.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think he threw anybody under the bus at all.
He never said, Elijah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He screwed up, not me. He did.
It was a great throw, but number 9 wasn't there because he was doing some other stuff, because he's sleeping in meetings and he's texting his little girlfriend, so he's not paying attention. So he missed what the protection or what the hot route was, and people are reacting as though he said that, and that's simply not the case. But I get it. Legacy program, number 2 in the country, every eye on us. Again, this is another huge viewership day, the 4th highest watched ESPN game across the weekend on a Friday night, the 5th highest weeknight ratings game in ESPN history. Everybody's watching, bro. I get it. And then so people are putting on their own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but like concretely, as my wonderful co-host here just showed you, Carson did not say what people espouse that he did. And then he cleaned it up afterwards. So, if people are saying, oh, well, he objectively didn't, and you just saw it. So there you go.
I want to bring in two other thoughts. One is, unfortunately, Carson came into the University of Miami with, whether true or not, the reputation that he was not a quote-unquote good locker room guy in Georgia. Now, he has done, from everything I've heard, everyone I've talked to, every aspect of me trying to find out who Carson Beck is, everyone has said he has come to the University of Miami and been a great locker room guy, been a great leader, been someone that has got along with everybody. Okay, so if that happened at Georgia, he's not that guy anymore. And I can't find one person off the record to tell me anything else but that. 2, compare that situation with Carson Beck, and he might have threw someone under the bus, but he didn't. Just as we look at the grand scheme of things, compared to the other quarterback in town for the Miami Dolphins, who has played as terrible a quarterback could possibly play, and then got up there and said, well, guys aren't showing up to meetings, and guys aren't doing this, and guys aren't doing that. And the leadership really has to, get on them. Well, dude, who's the leader? You are, buddy. So if you want to talk about a real issue, there's one going on with the Dolphins and not one going on with the Miami Hurricanes. They are properly led, and all is well in that locker room from everything I've found out. Now, listen, there's other little issues and things and stuff that goes on, because there always are, but you don't have the quote-unquote star player coming out and basically, running his mouth about everybody else when he should be the one to be the first one to get on people to get there and all that stuff.
No, you're right about that. And I think in terms of the player-led nature of this team and the pursuit of the goals that we'd set out for this year, I think Saturday is going to be a real rubber meet road moment. Like, you need to show and prove everything that you just said about leadership, about buy-in, about focus, about understanding that, was there an undefeated team last year even? I think everybody lost. So, like, teams are going to lose games, and this is the stupid one. This, I hope, is the stupid one that we're not supposed to lose en route to 11-1 that I predicted before the season. But you have to now go show and prove that. Okay, bounce back, refocus. This week's going to be that. It's, again, a battle against yourself, a fight to play to standard against a team that's not good, objectively. And then we hit the month of November, in which Mario Cristobal has greatly struggled in his 3 years here at the University of Miami. And you got to run 5-0 in that month to hit the 11-1 that I predicted that Mario Cristobal and everybody would target as a step forward, because that's been one of the big selling points. Every year here, it's been a step forward, 5-7 to 7-5 to 10-2. 10-2, again, is not good enough. So, yeah, the path forward, it is really clear. I actually wrote about it on StateOfTheU.com today, which we will talk about. I mean, the only path to the college football playoff from here on out is perfection. 6-0 over the next 6 weeks. Cristobal all season has said every game is a playoff game. Now you've made that indelibly true. You had the wiggle room of potentially losing one. Wiggle room gone.
And by the way,
just like Herman Boone said, be perfect.
And by the way, they no longer control their own destiny to get to the ACC championship. So,
right, but which even more supports my point of you got to be 11-1 to get in as at large.
Correct.
And maybe if some of these teams undefeated in conference in front of you, SMU, Georgia Tech, and Virginia, they're going to lose games and maybe help you out. Now, you have an opportunity to hang an L on SMU next week in Dallas on their homecoming. So that's one where you can handle yourself. And then you got to hope that some of these other teams now beat Virginia and or Georgia Tech to give you the help. But absent that help, and especially because Georgia Tech only has, 4 more conference games, including this week, because they end the season with Georgia, and they got a bye week in November. So you only got this week and then 3 weeks out of the 5 in November with ACC games for them, right? So the time is short for them. So yeah, now if we're looking at, okay, cool, we don't even make it to Charlotte again. You have to win all the rest of your games. It's that simple. And to win all of them, you have to win the first one. And that starts this Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Hard Rock Stadium against Stanford. Boom.
We will talk about that game against Stanford. We will talk about the great writing that Cam does for State of the U. And we'll talk about some players that we need to talk about. We'll do that and more on the other side. It's the Real One Canes podcast. Welcome back. It's the Real Ones Canes podcast. It's ones, not one. Evidently, before the break, I couldn't get that right. The Real Ones Canes podcast. He is Cam Underwood, managing editor, State of the U. Follow Cam on X at Underwood Sports. You can follow me at Miami Radio Beast. I'm Brian the Beast London. Cam, State of the U is a great website, open 24/7, 365, and it's free. Tell the people what's up there.
Lots of good stuff. Our weekly How to Watch is their ACC Power Rankings, where, as you can see from the lead photo, the University of Miami no longer holds the top spot. The piece that I alluded to earlier about the only path to the college football playoff from here on forward for Miami this year being perfection. Justin DeTavio and Mike Schiffman talking about the run game and the focus on duo and how that's going and ways to make it go better. Dear JD, the headline is misleading. You got to read it. It's funny. Our new photographer, Justin Cohen, been there for a few weeks. We have a photo gallery from the Louisville game, Monday Musings by Craig Smith, and more, all free, all up there for you. There's more further down. I'm just not going to show you. You got to go to the website, StateOfTheU.com.
Oh, what a tease. What a good tease. I like it. Get people to go click on that link. All right. As always, we put the link to StateOfTheU.com in the show notes. So we will do that. All right. Before we get to the game against Stanford, there's some players out there that maybe we thought we would see more of that we haven't. And it's getting around that time of the year, Cam, where we start to think who's going to redshirt, who's going to be here next year, who won't be, who's making an impact, who's not making an impact, who did we think was going to make an impact but isn't making an impact. There's all sorts of stuff out there we need to get to as it relates to some of the youngins on this team and their role that they are playing. Something that, it doesn't keep me up at night, but it's something I think about every now and then. You have any thoughts on the matter? Yeah.
I do think I'm in the wrong thing. That's why that wasn't coming up. Through October the 17th. That's the one I was looking at. I think that we're at the point where when you are winning games, it is very hard to say we should take off the field someone who's performing well to give an opportunity for someone to potentially do well. Correct. Without the floor of knowing that they're going to be at least league average kind of a thing, like a equal replacement. And so I think that's where some of the playing time went away. And also, we played a lot of tough games early. Notre Dame, USF ended up not being, but that had the potential to be a tough game, but it wasn't really. It was closer than it should have been for a while there, but whatever. And then Florida, that was a game that should have been a blowout, but we didn't put points on the board, and then they scored us, 14-7, and then all of a sudden, okay, hold on, or 21-7. So, we shortened the rotation in these major games. And then Florida State, same thing, right? So it's tough to take guys off the field. Then you got guys who are maybe a little tweak injured. Jordan Lyle wasn't 100%. He did get a couple snaps in the Florida State game. He got a couple snaps last week. He talked about like he missed a touchdown if he would have hit a different hole. And Joshisa Trader, because Miami is looking for a third receiving option, really. Now, I do think that JoJo Trader could be a replacement for Keelan Marion, but you want to run the screen stuff like it's a kick return to try to spring him and get him loose, even though he had a touchdown against Florida State, but he outran his blocking, and that's why it wasn't a touchdown. But it's really hard to say, okay, we're 5-0. We're number 2 in the country. We're going to take off one of the starters, and put somebody else in. This is really the JoJo Trader question. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge for him to earn his way onto the field. And there are plenty of rumors about performance and off-field things, and I'm not going to give life to those, but...
I just, on that stuff, right? Like, you and I have seen the tweets, we've seen stuff that's out there, we've heard stuff, whatever. Just from a journalistic basis, because people will be like, you know what's happening and you're not telling us. I will, I'm old school journalist, and I was taught you need multiple sources in order to confirm a story, whether it's true or not true or whatever. And I cannot tell you that I have multiple sources that can confirm whatever rumors are true or not true about Joshisa Trader. So you know what? Not my story to touch. If I can't get the truth from multiple people, then that's not my story to touch.
Right. Independent sourcing,
Correct.
Same. So I'm not going to put those things out there on this podcast.
Right.
I am going to acknowledge their existence of people talking in social media and putting things out there. Could those be part of the equation? It's possible. Also, his individual performance could be possible. The thing for me is, and I said this, I think around the USF game, with the way that the offense is playing, the playing time train is leaving the station and he is getting left. And, you can't make the club in the tub. So even if he was injured and out, right, it's tough to then work your way back. And then, hypothetically, if there are these citizenship issues, him in, not doing what needs to be done, as well as performance issues. And so if those things are true, hypothetically, those will be additional barriers you have to overcome to get back onto the field. So do I think that I would like to see him more? Joshisa Trader, it is? Sure. Would I like to see Joshua more? Absolutely. And he's a guy who cannot redshirt because I'm looking at the official stats. He's played in 5 games. So at this point, might as well. I mean, you're really at the decision point with Dalen Upshaw. He's only played in 2 games, probably red shirts. Brock Schott and Luka Gilbert, the tight ends, played in 1 game and 3 games, respectively. You're really at the decision point with Luka Gilbert, since he's played 3 and you can only play 4 regular season games. None of the postseason games count towards redshirting. And then Nye Carr, well, he's already redshirted and everything. So, we got to do something. Because I think even if you have, because just for clarity's sake, Malachi Toney and CJ Daniels, far and away 1 and 2 in the passing game, set it, forget it, boom. Keelan Marion's your number 3. That's where I think that you can have maybe a 3-4-5 cadre of the next up guys, where it's, honestly, the great options would be Keelan Marion, who's already playing and starting. Then you mix in JoJo Trader and
I would actually add in my mind, if I didn't know anything about this team, I would tell you, well, obviously the third option is Elijah Lofton, right? That's who was supposed to be a big man on campus coming into the season before we knew what we had with Malachi Toney and before we knew what we had with CJ Daniels. Everyone talked about Elijah Lofton, and that really has the use of the tight end has not come to fruition with this offense this season. So that's maybe not the answer.
I mean, he's number 4 in catches with 12.
Right, but still
104 yards. But I mean, he's not Elijah Arroyo. He's not Brevin Jordan. We're not going to force feed him the ball in that same kind of a way. And early teams had film on what we wanted to do based upon our personnel from previous. And so they did what? They really said, look, you're losing all of your receivers and one tight end. We'll take away the tight end, show and prove that these guys on the outside can actually hoop. Show us and prove to us that CJ Daniels, plantar fascia, is healthy. Show us and prove to us baby Jesus can actually do it at the college level. To our credit, we have, but people did intentionally take away the tight ends. And when the ball has found them, there have been misses on throws and drops and, that have, gotten towards either him or Alex Bowman. So, yeah, I would think, I would prioritize wide receivers over tight ends in the passing game. That's me, myself, personally. I think Elijah Lofton is fine. I don't think that he's the game breaker of the world that everybody has been saying. I think that he's good, but I don't think that he's incredible. But yeah, I think that with Keelan Marion, if you sprinkle in the other two, the JoJo Trader and the Joshua Moore, I think if you get those guys all on the same kind of number of targets and catches, that would then move things forward. But it's incumbent upon the team to be able to do that. And I'm really interested to see what happens this week because Shannon Dawson specifically made the point thrice on the Monday presser. It is tough to rotate dudes when you only run about 55, 60 plays.
That is true.
Starters play all the start. Like, you don't have the wiggle room. We want to be up in the 80, 85 play range.
I mean, at least 70-something plus.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying what he said. I'm not even saying what I think. Shannon Dawson said he wants to be over 80 plays. And if you are over 80 plays, that's 20 plus more snaps to rotate. And again, if you're playing 3 and 4 wide receivers, that's 40 to 60 rotational snaps available for multiple dudes. You know what I mean? If you're replacing 2 or 3 of the starters, it's there. So I'm really interested to see what happens because, again, when the numbers get truncated, and I do agree with that, if you had limited snaps, starters start for a reason, starters got to play when you only run 58 plays or whatever it was against.
Well, I mean, why even question that? Like, if you take CJ Daniels and Malachi Toney out for important plays, like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, even if it's one of them, like CJ Daniels had to come out because he got injured, right?
Well, yeah.
That's already going to be a rotational snap. So how long is he on the sideline and things like that? So I'm really, really interested to see against a really, really bad team. Like, we should be really blowing this team out. The line started at 28 and a half. It's 30 and a half now. It's gotten bet up in Miami's favor. If ever there's going to be a game for rotation, so you can get out here and say, hey, remember me? I'm out here making plays. I'm running my routes hard. I'm blocking. I'm catching the passes that are thrown my direction or doing all those things. This week against Stanford is the one. And that can now set you up for a bigger role in the offense moving forward through the month of November. But this is really this game has become a much larger game in the course of the season than it already was as one of the 12. Like, this is really, for a lot of reasons, this game has gravitas to it, Brian. And so I'm really interested to see what happens.
It's a really important game, way more important than we ever thought it would be. We thought this would be like a nice sleepy 3:30 game, just a little respite from everything else this season. And instead, it turns out that it is not that it's really important for what Cam said before the break. Listen, Stanford averages 19 points per game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing. That's not good at all. Actually, the only aspect of the Stanford football team that is somewhat competitive is their run defense is not terrible. I think it ranks like 28th in the nation. I have that in front of me. Their rush defense it only gives up 117 yards per game, which is number 28th in the nation. Their pass defense is 131st in the nation. They give up 304.7 passing yards per game. They give up they're number 81 in scoring defense. They're number 103 in total defense. So, you better score this game. Like, this is not a game to play conservatively and leave points out there. Like,
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I don't have a sound meter with me, anymore. I don't teach music anymore, so I don't have one of those. I think that we're going to see 105 decibels plus of boos if Carson Beck throws an interception in the first half of this game.
Why are you even saying? Why are you putting that out there? Don't put that out there.
This is one
Don't put that out there. Don't put that out in the universe.
I already said it. Can't take it back. But this is one where, I want to see, I know that we're not the same team, clearly. Remember the 2001 Hurricanes beat a ranked Washington 65-7?
Yeah, because they were so pissed off. They were so pissed off about the year before when they lost to Washington out there, and it ruined a perfect season.
Yep.
That it was a night game at the Orange Bowl.
Yep.
Jeremy Stevens was the tight end. He came in as the big star for Washington, and the University of Miami. First of all, the Orange Bowl was out of control that night. Second of all, it was basically like I was even scared to be walking around the Orange Bowl before the game. People were just out of control, and if you were wearing a Washington jersey that night, good luck to you. Sorry, you're in the wrong spot, man. But the University of Miami, I think it was like 65 points they put up. Like, I don't remember.
65-7.
Yeah, it was. I have not seen an ass kicking like that against a Division I, Power 4, 5, whatever team like that.
Top 20 ranked, top 15 or whatever. Like, that was a really, really good team. My point is, I need that kind of a performance on Saturday. Like, this cannot even be 45-10. Not good enough. I mean, I need to stomp a mud hole through these people. We're wearing the military honor and pride, jerseys, whenever, make whatever comparison from Call of Duty or real life, because my cousin is in the Army. Shout out to him and, others, whatever analogy you want to make. I'm not necessarily going to make it on this show, but you can extrapolate in your own brains.
Oh, see, I went
that kind of performance.
I went to Miami wearing the camos off the plane at Penn State at the Fiesta Bowl, and that didn't bring me happy memories. Sorry.
That's fine.
Do that. Yeah, it happens.
But you did it. But yeah, I need
the total on the game is at 45.5, which if Miami doesn't score 45 points by themselves, I will be very upset.
Oh, right. No, exactly. So yeah, I need that with a 30.5 line. You know what I mean? So it's like 42-3-ish. I mean, that would be way over. But yeah.
I listen. Stanford's not good. Now they beat Florida State, but Florida State's got their own issues.
I think that, yeah. I mean, look, credit to them for that. And they did it. And this is the other thing. Their starting quarterback went out in the Florida State game, probably doesn't play. They're already missing 2 starting offensive linemen, a starting running back, a starting wide receiver, 2 starters, 3 on defense. Like, they're running a mash unit, talking about, military and, stuff. They're running a mash unit over there in Stanford. They have like a third of their starters or more out. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, this should be, and I know people can say, Cam, like, this is your Miami showing. This is your fandom. This is not da-da-da-da. Objectively, Miami should cover 5 touchdowns against this Stanford team.
Oh,
it is incumbent upon.
No.
It's the same thing I said against Louisville. It's incumbent upon Miami doing what they needed to do. If Carson Beck didn't throw 4 goddamn interceptions, we win that game, probably cover. But he did throw the interceptions, and so we lost. And where the people, Louisville people before the game are like, man, we see that the 14.5 line got bet down to 11, and we're hoping that it's a 1-possession game. They're hoping that it was close, and it took the worst performance in this kid's career to then lose the game. That's what I'm talking about. The margin. And people are like, oh, the margins are so close. The margin is only close because he turned the ball over and we gave it away on 5 of 11 possessions. With the turnover on downs and then 4 interceptions. You cannot win games when you're not scoring and giving it away. Not even talking about punting. You're talking about giving it away and having empty possessions. 5 out of 11, unacceptable. That's the margin I'm talking about, not a 1-possession 3-point loss. If you didn't blow half of your possessions, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Stanford has not announced who's going to play quarterback, although it's expected to be the freshman from Huntington Beach, California, Elijah Brown. He's 6'2", 205. He came in when Gulbranson left the Florida State game. He threw he completed 6 passes on 12 attempts for 71 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. There should not be a problem with the freshman quarterback that's making his first start at Miami.
Behind a line that's starting, at least 2, if not 3 backups.
Correct.
And call me a Miami homer, whatever you want. This game should not be close.
So if you had to come down to keys to the game,
executing. No, that's what it is. We didn't do it last week. Again, I'm focused on Miami. I don't care about whoever the other team is. If we execute, we win the Louisville game. We've won the other games where we did execute. All I need you to do is execute. Look at the man in the mirror, the teammates who are wearing, it's not orange and green and white, it's, military camo with whatever, but it's on us and nothing else. We have to go execute. Carson Beck, execute, as in make the right reads and the right throws that aren't turnovers. And we didn't even go down all the interceptions, but whatever. You know what I mean? You need to make tackles, executing, filling run lanes appropriately because we had some missed run fits, executing, blocking, executing, hitting the right hole, executing. It's about Miami executing, period. Clinical. That's what Nick Saban always said. It's about us playing to the standard, executing our game plan, and going out there and playing Alabama football. Well, God darn it, Miami needs to go out there and play Miami football and execute. That, period. If you want to add something else, I'm open ears, but that's my viewpoint on it.
By the way, like if you're going over their running backs, they have some decent running backs, but one of them is a Miami, South Florida legacy, Cedric Irvin, whose dad obviously played for Donnie Solinger at Miami Southridge and then went on to have a great career at Michigan State. His son plays running back for Stanford. So that's pretty cool to see. But I'd like to not see him have any success on Saturday against Miami. Micah Ford is their starting running back. He's got 99 carries for 425 yards. He averages 4.3. For me, Cam, all I want to see us do is run the football. Be able to run the football.
Okay.
Now, I have no comment on us repeatedly aiming for the same 5-foot wide area between the guards to run the football. I'll just leave that to others. I just want us to be successful running the football.
I mean, we wrote about it on StateOfTheU, talking about running duo all the time. It was funny in week 2, right? When we brought it up and Shannon Dawson said, he's like, well, this is the foundation of the run game. And Alex Mirabal, he's the associate head coach. He doesn't have the title of run game coordinator. He has the function of run game coordinator. So he is involved clearly on like, hey, my guys are blocking this, call this run type of a thing. But when you're gashing people in the first month of the season, running the same thing over and over, sure, it's cute and it's funny and it's a great story. Now teams are just shooting through gaps indeterminately, just saying we're going through this gap because we think you're going to be here, and we've been. That's the issue. So yeah, but to bridge our points together, it is my assertion, my good friend, that to be able to run the ball, we need to execute on all levels. So I believe we are aligned, even though you gave specificity to like the one thing you want to see go well. My focus is on the process that I think will lead to that success.
Miami will win 42-10. That is my prediction.
I might be a little upset if we give up 10 points.
Well, I'm giving a field goal to Stanford at some point.
And a touchdown.
No. Yes. And then some stupid play late leads to some stupid touchdown.
Okay.
That's how I don't see them scoring a touchdown for like the first 3.5 quarters of the game.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm interested to see what I need touchdowns every drive. I need that. What did Shannon Dawson call it? Good old boring efficiency. Remember that from the beginning?
Yes, I remember that line. Yep.
When we just, hey, whatever, we walk down the field, score a touchdown. Get a stop, walk down the field, get a touchdown. Not a lot of explosive plays, but we got the end zone all the time. Even with some explosive plays, but yeah, I need that. Every time we touch the ball, 7, 7, 7, 7. That's what I'm looking for. But again, to my own point, how do we get there? By executing. And you know what? I will also be interested to see if your pet project throughout this season continues of the University of Miami offensive line with procedural penalties.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't count last game.
Ooh, I have it open still because I always leave the stats open all the way through when I record podcasts on Wednesdays. So you're welcome for that. We had 3 false starts.
So that's now up to at least 18 pre-snap procedural penalties on the offensive line.
I'm sorry, 2 false starts. The third one was Elijah Lofton.
Oh, okay. So 17.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm interested to see that getting cleaned up and just the penalties in general, because, another week of 9 to 16 or whatever, don't want to see that.
Yeah. Miami, just in case you're wondering, is tied for 85th in the nation with 47 penalties for 381 yards.
What's the per game?
Well, it's 47 penalties over 6 games. So,
well, but I meant on average.
So it's like 7 point something.
Which comes in at 119th at 7.8 penalties per game.
Yes.
There you go.
Sounds amazing.
It's incredible, right? It feels great.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
But again, when you're blowing teams out and you're tap dancing and backflipping and taking your helmet off, that's one thing.
Like the university, like we talked about the 2001 team, like they were one of the leaders in the country in penalties. But guess what? Mm-hmm. It didn't matter.
That part.
It did not matter at all.
These matter. It keeps putting Miami behind the sticks.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing the last couple of weeks, you can't run the ball. And then you get in these disadvantageous passing situations when defenses are just like, nom. Carson Beck throws. Nom. Give it to me.
The parity in college football has reduced the margins by which you can afford to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And literally every inch matters. And a false start can ruin a drive, which can take points off the board, which can result in you losing.
False starts and holdings, and they have in the past couple of weeks now. We were able to skirt by those, with against Florida and Florida State, bums both. But we were not able to skirt by with those against Louisville. So yeah, but this needs to be just a retribution game. And I know it's not against Louisville, but this is a get right. game against Stanford. So, yeah.
If you're watching or listening, if you've made it to this point, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you. You've spent almost an hour with us, and we cannot be more thankful. Please subscribe. Please like. Please thumbs up. Please make a comment. I have written back to every single person that has made a comment on the YouTube. So I will continue to do that. One of these days, I'll get Cam to get on there and argue with somebody. Maybe. But thank you very much, all of you, for listening and watching. We really appreciate you. That'll do it for us. Oh, what do you got?
As I'm going to continue to do.
Yep.
This is the 5th home game of 8.
Yep.
So there, including this week, there are only 4 more opportunities to see your Miami Hurricanes. So, I don't want to see all these comments on YouTube in February and March of, I wish there were a game. You have the opportunity to go support this team now. I know that it feels bad. I know that we just lost a game, but we need you guys out there, and everybody should be here. So Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Hard Rock Stadium, one of the few times remaining that you can be there and support your Miami Hurricanes in person. You need you to show up. So please do. Actually, wait, this is 5 of 8. It's this and then 2 more. Sorry,
right.
You got this one.
More. You got this one, Syracuse and NC State. That's it.
Yeah. So there's this one and then only 2 more behind it. So yeah, this is, the numbers are dwindling of opportunities to get to Hard Rock Stadium. So please come on out there, and support this team. I know it sucks. We lost last week and everything. The season's not over. We have designs and we have a path forward, but that path forward includes the fans. It includes you being there and being loud. So please come on out to the game. And then we will see you there. And I will let Brian close us out.
Yeah, man. Cam, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Hey, everyone, go check out StateOfTheU.com. Lots of great stuff there. Subscribe, like, comment, all of that stuff. Share, tell your mom, tell your auntie, tell whoever about the Real Ones Canes podcast. For Cam Underwood, I'm Brian the Beast London. We'll see you next time right here. The Real Ones Canes podcast. Peace.